Hey guys, it's Trey back again with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be continuing on with our programming fundamentals course. And in the last video, we talked about data types. We learned about the 5 basic data types. And in this video, we're going to be continuing on with that. We're going to be talking about the complex type that is known as an array. So if you haven't seen the last video about data types, then you should go back and take a look at that, so you won't be lost when we start talking about the arrays. All right, so let's get into it. At its basic level, an array is just a list of values. All right, so as you can see here on line 16, we set up this variable that is an array with just 3 values, 3 numbers, 1, 2, and 3, okay? And the way we know it's an array is because of these square brackets. So the same way we know this is a string by its quotations, we know that this is an array by its square brackets, okay? It's just square brackets. Inside of the square brackets, you put a comma separated list of values. So right now we're using numbers, but we don't have to use numbers. We can use, if I set up another array here, we can use strings inside of here. So we can say hello, and then we do comma, world, and then comma, and then we do an exclamation point. And this is also an array. It's just an array of string values instead of an array of number values, okay? So that's an array. You can put pretty much any of these data types in here, all right? So it's just a list of values, okay? So let's take a look at this, what we were doing last time. So when we were printing out these types, right, we saw that the type of the array was coming out to be an actual object. So let's take a look at that. If I open up my terminal and I run this file, so I'll say node space pf underscore lesson underscore, what is this, 3.js. We see that here's our array, and then here we printed out the array. So that's this right here, 1, 2, 3. And then we print out the type of the array, which is actually showing as an object. And I know you're probably wondering, well, hey, you said this was an array. Why is it showing up as an object? It's just a little quirk of the JavaScript language. The arrays are going to show up as objects, right? The way you can test that if it's an array or not is you can use this code right here. So we can say the array, which is the name of our variable. We're saying, is the array an instance of the array type, okay? And as we can see, that printed out to be true. So that's a way you can check to see if this object is an array. And to just be clear that this is true only for arrays, we're going to take this object, which we haven't talked about yet. This will have its own video as well. And we're going to do the same instance of array check on it. All right, so we're going to say, oops, we're not doing array this time. We're doing the object because that's the variable that we want to check. So we say object instance of, and then we do array. Okay, so I'm going to save this. I'm going to clear my terminal, and then I'm going to run the same file again. Okay, and I just made it pop up by pushing up on my keyboard. Okay, and then we're going to hit enter, and as we can see, we printed out the array. It comes back as an object. Then we check to see if it's an array. It says true. Now when we check this object, remember, here's the object here, so we know that that is the same object. And then we see that it's coming back as an object. But when we did the array check on the object, it's coming back as false. So that's how you know that that is not an array. All right, so that's basically the extension from last class. In this lesson, we're going to actually take a closer look at the arrays. I'm going to show you a loop here, but I don't think we're going to get to that in this video. So loops might end up being its own video. I wanted to do it all at one time, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do that all in one video. So let's just continue on with the arrays. So I'm going to comment this stuff out because we don't really care about it right now. Push it down here. Okay, so now we have this array. So this is the same array from the other file. It's just a new file. And I wanted to clear some space so we can see what's going on here. Okay, so we have the array. The array is created. We know this is an array. It's just a list of values. But let's say we wanted to get one specific value from out of this list. Let's say this 2 here. We wanted to get this 2 out of this list. How would we do that? Well, the good news is that JavaScript allows you to do that pretty easily. You would just have to know the position that this is at. So if we look at this, we can say that this is position 1, this is position 2, and this is position 3. So we know we want to get this 2, and it's at position 2, right? However, when we're talking about arrays, the positions don't start at 1. They start at 0. So really, this would be position 0. This would be position 1. And this would be position 2. Okay. So always remember that when you're dealing with arrays, the first position is not position 1. It's position 0. Okay. This would be 0, 1, 2. Okay. So if we wanted to get the value at position 1 right here, then we would have to write syntax that looks like this. So we're going to set up a new variable that's going to pull the value at this position 1. Okay. So we're going to say let, and then we're going to say num2. That's going to be the name of our variable, and we're going to assign it to this value here. All right. So this is going to be some new syntax. So what we're going to do is we're going to reference this variable. Okay. So we're going to say this array variable. And then we're going to put square brackets like this, right? The same square brackets that we use for creating an array, we're going to use here. But inside of these brackets, we're going to put the position number. So this is position 0, this is position 1, and this is position 2, okay? So we want this position 1 value. So we're going to put 1 here, okay? And that's going to get this 2 value out of here and assign it to this num2 variable, okay? And we're going to prove this by printing it out. We're going to say console.log, and we'll say num2, okay? So this is just going to print num2 out, okay? Don't worry about this. This is just what I pushed down earlier. I have a auto formatting thing, so it took all the white space out of there. Don't worry about that. This is what we're focusing on. So let me go ahead and run this. So I'm going to say node space pf_lesson. And then this is lesson 4. So we're going to do _4.js. We hit enter. And as you can see, we printed out 2 because that's the value that we got from here. So you get the value by here. So if we wanted to get this value, the number 3, we will put the second position because this is position 2. So it'll be position 0, position 1, position 2. So if we put 2 here, we're saying get me the value out of this array at position 2. Okay, so that's what this is saying. So if I save this and I rerun this, see, it's getting this value now. All right, so we're saying this value equal to num2, and then we're printing out num2. So really, if you wanted to be a better programmer, you would probably want to name this something different. Okay, you could say num3. Since we know it's going to get num3, we can say num3 and then run this. Not only can you pull information from the arrays, you can also set information in these arrays. Okay, so the way you set information is like this. You would take the array, you would get the position that you want to set. So let's just do 2. So we're going to get position 2. So this position is the one we want to set. So we do that, and then we can set this value the same way we set any other variable. Okay, so we set that there, and then let's say we want to set it to 300. Okay, so we say equals 300. Okay, so this will assign 300 at position 2. All right, and then down here we're gonna print out position 2. So once again, just to make it more obvious what's happening here, this should print out 300 instead of 3 now, because we originally set it to 3. We change it here to 300, and then we set this this num300 to the value 2, which was where we just set, and then we print that out. So it should print out 300. So let's run this. So we're going to say node pf lesson 4.js, and now we see that it says 300. So we can set values and we can get values. That's pretty much it for arrays. Like, you're going to have a list of values, and then you're going to want to get a value from that list. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel, and all that jazz. And I will see you guys in the next video.